Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rat Sound Review. This is album versus album.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
Hello. Can't believe you guys got on board with that.
You like a lot of cheesy stuff. I can't even say that because I like some cheesy stuff too.
What? That's one of the best songs on this record.
I was forced to listen to the debut for this album, and I was impressed.
I feel like the title track is a little weak, honestly. Am I gonna get crucified for saying this?
Yeah.
Please get me off this fucking program.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rat Sound Review. This is album versus album.
Hello.
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 Can't believe you guys got on board with that.
You like a lot of cheesy stuff. I can't even say that because I like some cheesy stuff too.
What? That's one of the best songs on this record.
I was forced to listen to the debut for this album, and I was impressed.
I feel like the title track is a little weak, honestly. Am I gonna get crucified for saying this?
Yeah.
Please get me off this fucking program.
Well, that's how we're starting this show. Are you ready?
Okay.
I said, are you ready?
to rock. Yeah, sure.
Oh, let me have another shot. I'm not fucking ready.
Fuck. Neither one of these two are ready. But are you ready? Are you ready for this show? Well, for the few in attendance and for nobody sitting at home watching this show, welcome to Album versus Album. I am here joined by my co-hosts, the idiot, Uncle Saxon, and the Hoople, Greg Norgal. And I am the Starman, Stardust, whatever the fuck his name was. David Bowie.
Well, Starman, but there was a Lady Stardust. That does fit your face.
You are the light man, destroyer of the dark man.
Oh man. Whew.
If anybody's into It's Always Sunny in
It's
Philadelphia.
Always
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie,
Ah!
this may be the gayest thing I've ever heard. No.
I was getting confused with the Starman from Kiss. Ace Frehley.
Yeah.
That's why I was getting a little confused. Anyway, today's albums: David Bowie, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, and the Spiders
from Mars.
from Mars, and Mott The Hoople, All the Young Dudes.
Ooh,
Mott The Hoople. All
At
the
least these guys.
Did you ever hear them before?
I went and saw them with Nago a couple months back, and they were fantastic. But before that, I was in the ignorant train. Yeah.
Yeah. I was too, because I didn't know Mott The Hoople did All the Young Dudes. I thought that was somebody else.
Oh, come on. I even knew that.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't know that. I mean, they're famous for it. There's been other covers, but they're all pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Bowie's version of it themselves isn't really. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I talked to you the other day about that. It was on the radio. I'm like, why is this on the radio? It's so bad.
Come on. He made that song his own. He fucking told Ian to go blow him and took his song and ran with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't like it.
No,
That's
but
neither here nor there.
the Bruce Dickinson one is very good.
Fuck
That
me.
he did on.
Yeah, that was interesting.
You heard it?
I did listen to that. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was good. All right, well, Greg, you are the all-knowing of all Mott The Hoople, so
Yep.
I'll let you go.
So Bowie at this point still hadn't really broken it big. As a matter of fact, when he hooked up with Mott to write the song for them, Ziggy Stardust hadn't even come out yet. I think the Starman single might have been released, and that was it. But before that, you know, he was kind of a performance artist that turned into a singer, top 40 crap. He only really established the Spiders from Mars band with Mick Ronson, who basically became the Keith Richards to his Jagger, but unfortunately was screwed out of his writing credits by the management. But he pretty much arranged and wrote the majority of the music to this in partnership with David. And David was actually pretty cool about it. Mick died from liver cancer in '93, but around the time Bowie died, he was working on a documentary that has been finished and came out since, but he never finished it. But it's called Beside Bowie, and it pays tribute to Mick Ronson because he always felt he got a raw deal, and I thought that was pretty cool. Because that's one thing about like Mick Ronson and just Mott The Hoople and how they intersect with David Bowie. There's a lot of different versions of the stories you hear over time.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, so Mott The Hoople at that point had been touring and recording and building a following for about 4 years and had released 4 albums on Island Records. Overend Pete Watts, the bass player, was aware of Bowie and was a fan of what he was doing, and he had actually sent them a demo tape of Suffragette City that he offered to them because they were his main inspiration in writing that song.
Really?
He was a fan of them, and he really liked particularly the Brain Capers album, which was the one before all the Young Dudes. But anyway, their management, their producer, Guy Stevens, completely insane. And the label really screwed them. But another problem they had, which if you ever listen to their earlier albums, especially the first 3, you'll notice once you get to Dudes, it's much more focused and balanced.
Right.
They kind of operated as a 5-man democracy, and they almost never agreed on anything. So a lot of the album track list would come out of compromises. So there's some weird jumps in it. Most of it's good. It's just odd how it's packaged together sometimes. But Brain Capers is a classic. But so where was I? Oh, anyway, they never really managed to get a huge hit or anything. I think their biggest single before Dudes was a cover of the Kinks, You Really Got Me, and they made a lot of money touring, but they couldn't sell records, so they were getting booked on these shitty tours, and they ended up playing in a I want to say detoxified, but I don't know what you call it when you convert a giant gas tank that used to hold like some, I don't know if it was natural gas, whatever the hell it was, but calling this club out of this old gas tank, and it was a really shitty gig, and they just hated it, and they decided they were going to break up after that. So Pete called Bowie to see if he could play bass for the Spiders from Mars, because he knew he needed one at that time, and Bowie was like, oh no, you guys can't break up, I'll come down and write a song for you. So he invited them up to his place, and he basically just demoed his idea for all the Young Dudes for them, which was just him playing an acoustic guitar and singing the lyrics. And then Mott wrote the rest of the song from there.
Wow.
I mean, Bowie produced it, so, you know, he was real into the recording of it, and he definitely had a vision for them, but it was very much about Mott.
Yeah. That's what's funny about that song. You can definitely hear a Bowie influence on it. What is he showing us? I don't know what he's showing us there.
I can't read it.
Wikipedia says that all the Young Dudes were written for them by David Bowie.
That's what you just said.
That's what I said.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
He got the writing credit, but really, originally, all he wrote of it was just the lyrics, and he played him his idea on his acoustic guitar, and they kind of took it from there.
Okay, well, I thought I had it all fucking down on that song, but just
No,
the opposite.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I thought that was a Mott The Hoople song.
No, I mean, you can tell he wrote it based on his influences of them, because it is in a lot of ways very much a Mott The Hoople song, but in a lot of ways
Sounds
it
like it
also
fits
isn't.
better on the Mott album than it does on the Ziggy album, to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Ziggy album is all spacey and, you know, fucking.
The
It's
Ziggy
got a
album,
vibe, and then all the young dudes comes on. It's like, what the fuck is this?
the Ziggy album is very theatrical. It's more of a rock opera type album, where
Right.
Dudes is very much more in your face. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel they're very even with each other because they both kind of start out slow. Like the first two songs. Well, the second song on the Hoople album is a little bit faster, but they both start out very slow, kind of. You know.
Yeah, I really don't care too much for the first two songs that start off Ziggy Stardust. I like 5 Years, but it's not one of my favorite songs by him, and Soul Man just isn't.
Mm.
Yeah. Or Soul Love, just.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
I,
he wrote them the song, got them out of their recording contract with Island, and brought them over to CBS in America to record the album, and he helped them produce it, but also Mick Ronson helped them arrange a lot of it. And it's still Mott, but it's definitely glam influenced, and it actually divided a lot of their original fan base. They were a lot of them were pretty pissed off about the gay lyrics and all the young dudes. Which, whenever Ian does it live, he always replaces he with she. But not all of the band members cared, but some of them did. Mick Rouse, Burton Allen, they weren't too thrilled about. Well, Mick's whole thing was he didn't like how it was turning into an image. He thought it was bullshit, and he wanted it to be about the music. And he wasn't into the whole dressing up thing. But anyway, that was later on. So
it sounds like it would be Udo making London Leather Boys into London Leather Girls.
Essentially, yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. But so they recorded the album after Bowie had recorded Ziggy, and Ziggy was coming out, so they both came out around the same time. And it's pretty that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
well,
like
we just gonna talk both albums at the same time tonight, and just final responses at the end.
Yeah, we could work it like that.
That's fine.
What the fuck, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fine. But when it was my turn this week to pick the albums, and yeah, we had a little. Me and Greg had a little discussion on what to do because I had some other ideas, and I wasn't too sure what was gonna fit better with what. So we ended up coming up with these two albums, and I don't know. It's different. It's a different show. You know, it's not metal. It's hard rock. So it's it's cool to change things up once in a while.
Nice thing about metalhead though is we're open minded, man.
That's it. We're not
can't say that about any other
right.
Well,
music,
and really, I mean, Mott The Hoople really influenced a lot of glam metal and hair metal.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Nigel Benjamin, their last singer, sang in London, and a lot of the covers Nikki Sixx would play, even with early Motley Crue, would be. I think they used to do All the Young Dudes. It might have been Rock and Roll Queen. I can't remember now.
Rip Lizzie Gray, by the way. Rip.
Yeah. Yes. Rest in peace, Lizzie Gray. See, actually, Nigel died the day before him.
Wow.
That would affect you more than it would affect.
But yeah,
it's just an odd coincidence. But
right. When I listened to this Mott The Hoople album, this is the first time I've heard this one, and or any Mott The Hoople album for that matter. I can definitely hear a lot of glam. Like this is like the beginnings of glam. I can hear a lot of that stuff. So that was kind of cool to hear. And I really like the album. I really have to go check out the rest of the Hoople stuff because I'm a fool for not doing that sooner.
It's the originations of the British version of glam.
Yeah. The
New York Dolls were our version.
Yeah. But I like the album a lot. There's only two songs I don't like: "Soft Ground" and "Sucker." I don't like that part in Sucker where he's like, crap, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's something like my girl called me something. I can't think of what the hell he's saying. I can't even understand what he's saying on that part.
Oh, my baby calls me when she wanna say yo.
Yeah, oh, is that what she says?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like, but I'm just like, what? And it's, he like says it over and over again. I just didn't get it. So it was driving me nuts. I had enough of that
That's
song.
a great song.
It's cool. I do like it. I like the music for it. It's just the lyrics were just killing me. And then there was another song that I swear he was talking about ice cream cone. Was he talking about ice
Yeah.
cream? He was
Yeah.
saying it. All right. But I like that song. But yeah, there's only 2 songs I don't really care for. Even though they're not even bad songs. Just I prefer the other ones. Even the slow songs. I even like that last song that's on the album.
Sea Diver.
Yeah. Yep. That's a cool. It's got some nice melodies in the chorus and stuff.
Ian Hunter actually wrote that with Mick Ronson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he arranged all the strings and the different instruments and the structure of the song with Ian. And then after they both left Mott The Hoople, and well, Mick had left the Spiders years before, but his solo career didn't go well. You know, they hooked up and made a band when Hunter went solo.
Nice. But yeah, it's a good album. Of course, I love all the young dudes. And what's that other song? Are You Ready for Love? I didn't know they did the original version.
Oh yeah, man! It's I love the dual vocals on it with Mick and Ian. It makes it real dynamic. It's so much more rockin' than the Bad Company version is. Plus, you get the full extended instrumental from Mick at the end. You know, that's really cool. They jam there.
What are you shaking your head for?
Because Paul Rogers owns that song, man.
Oh, stop.
Paul Rogers owns that fucking song. That is so much better than the Mott version. I'm sorry.
They're very similar.
This isn't about Bad Company. I don't dislike the Bad Company version, but I definitely like the Mott version better.
The other one's a little heavier. I will say that, but they're both good. I like, they're not my favorite songs. I wouldn't really give 2 shits about this song, but I like this song. It's cool.
Well, anybody that's listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth,
yeah,
I'm not ripping on Mott. It sounds like I haven't had anything nice to say about him. I'm not. I went and saw him with Noggle back in April, right? And
Yep.
I was absolutely blown the fuck away. And it made me want to look more into it. And after that, me and Noggle have been talking Mott for the whole summer, and I'm learning more about him. And it just happens that everything you guys bring up, I have a different opinion on.
Like what?
Everything you've already said.
Elaborate.
This up though. I've heard 19 different versions of Sweet Jane, and I think this is the best version of Sweet Jane.
Easily.
Who else did it?
That's a Velvet Underground song, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
I couldn't tell you who else has covered it over the years, but a lot of people have. But this is the only version of it I've ever heard I really like. And, well, I do like the live version on Lou Reed's Rock and Roll Animal, but on that record, his backup band was what would become Alice Cooper's backing band on Welcome to My Nightmare. So it was a good band he had backing him up. They won a bunch of hippies on fucking LSD hanging out with Andy Warhol. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Pond covered it in the early 90s, I believe, and they did it justice, but yeah, this sounds like it should have been recorded in the 70s. And that's what it is.
And, Ian Hunter in many ways has kind of a peculiar voice. It's very out front and powerful, but it's definitely can only be Ian Hunter. There's no way you can mistake him for anybody else. But he sounds like that song was written for him. I really like it.
Wow, I didn't know it was a cover. That's interesting.
Is Ian Hunter a jerk in real life, or?
Well, I mean, he was in the past. He's made good with people over the years, which led to the Mott reunion in 2009 and 13 and all that. But looking up interviews with him, the story will change here and there over the years. Like before Bowie died, he was pretty anti-Bowie for a while and pissed off at him and stuff. But, now he's got all the good shit to say about him, so.
Well, he's a very particular artist. I know that much.
Yeah. He's a
got his
good
own
guy, I would say, but he's definitely his own person and does what he wants.
Now, when we were talking about doing these two albums, you were saying that Bowie kind of gave up Mott The Hoople. What happened with that? Oh, John left.
Well,
Where the hell did he go?
I don't know.
That's weird. I think he hid something. Try calling him back. Now I'm going to have to edit this. Son of a bitch.
Hey, did you listen to any of the bonus tracks on this?
I did not download the bonus track one.
I thought I sent it to you.
Well, you sent it to me, but I didn't put it on my phone. I just downloaded it to my computer.
Oh, okay. No, because
One of the boys, Black Scorpio, Right on the Sun. One of the boys, UK single, All the Young Dudes, with David Bowie and Ian as vocals. Sucker and Sweet Jane live in '73 at the Hammersmith.
Why? What's with the bonus tracks?
Well, Black Scorpio is actually the original version of Mama's Little Jewel.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of interesting to hear how it evolved and took shape, but that was one of the songs cut from their previous album, Brain Capers, which, also interestingly enough, was almost called Sticky Fingers. However, they thought it was a stupid title and gave it up, and then the Stones took it.
And came out with one of the best album covers of all time.
Yes.
Yes.
I guess
If
so.
you don't know, Nooner, the Stone Sticky Fingers, had an actual working zipper that went up and down.
Oh, yes. Okay, I remember that. Yes. Yep. All right. Interesting. All right. Before we got cut off there, I asked you about the bad blood between Bowie and Mott The Hoople.
Well, it was actually started by his manager at the time, who Bowie had a rather acrimonious split with about 4 years after all this. Guy's name was Tony DeFries, but he took on Mott The Hoople as a favor to David and really didn't want to deal with them anymore after the album, because even though All the Young Dudes was a hit and their biggest hit, Bowie just took off with Ziggy Stardust, and he just wanted to deal strictly with Bowie and go with that. So the interesting part of this is, even though the band, it's rumored they recorded a demo of it, I've never heard it, but he was going to give them another song, which he ended up doing himself on his Aladdin Sane album called Drive-In Saturday, and reportedly Mott had recorded a version of it, and DeFries did give it to Bowie, but he never told him what Bowie really said, and started the rift between the two of them. Because basically he told Bowie that they didn't like the song, and he told them Bowie didn't like their arrangement.
Wow.
Which wasn't true.
Yeah.
But the only this was the last album with the original lineup of Mott The Hoople. The organ player organ player Verdon Allen left after this, so he's not on the next one, the self-titled Mott.
Right.
You ever listen to that yet, Wayne, or just this record?
Not yet. Just this one.
Okay, yeah. So after this, Ian kind of took over the band and became the lead songwriter. But in a way, it was good because it gave him direction where they didn't have it before. But anyway, the rest of the band kind of didn't want to do the song anyway, because they were starting to become known as Bowie's proteges, and Mick Rouse was like, "Fuck that, we've got to write our own single." Which I love what they did after that, all the way from Memphis. That's an awesome song too. But that's what started the bad blood between them.
Fucking managers.
But after Ian Hunter left Mott, which at the time just came down to the bass player Pete Watts and the drummer Dale Griffin with the record contract from CBS, he used to call up Watts while they were recording it and taunt him. So he could be just as much of a dick.
Yeah. Oh well. These musicians, man. God. It's always drama.
Yep. But he's not like that anymore. He's a real cool dude.
Oh, that's good. So we have the David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust,
Yep,
Rise and Fall of the Ziggy. I don't know why I keep forgetting the name of this damn album. It's too long.
most people shorten it to Ziggy Stardust anyway.
Yeah.
And this
Everybody.
is really when his star started to take shape because, you know, he had a serious backing band behind him for a while that had written together. They did Man Who Sold the World and then Hunky Dory and did this one.
Yeah. Those are good albums too. But this one's good. It's the first time I listened to this one all the way through in a long time. I listened to it back when I first bought it, and I kind of just put it to the side. Didn't really pay too much attention to it. But knowing that we were doing this show, I had to, you know, actually pay attention. And I like it a lot. I like it a lot more than I thought I did. After like the third listen, I started to really like more and more songs. And there's only 2 songs I don't like. I pretty much like the whole album except for Hang On To Yourself and the last song, Rock and Roll Suicide. Those songs just don't really go anywhere, do nothing for me. Actually, that last song, it feels like it's just like ends abruptly. I don't know, it's just a weird ending to the album. It doesn't really fit. But I like every other song on here. I mean, the first 2 songs, like we said before, they start off kind of slow, a little too slow for, you know, to start up an album, but I don't know, they work. They have some cool melodies and the vocals and the music and stuff. I like it. And then you got the Suffragette City. I mean, that's a big song. A lot of big songs on this album. You know?
Yeah.
What else is on this one? God damn, I wish I had the damn CD in front of me.
Well, the title track,
right.
Lady Stardust,
Lady Stardust, yep.
Moonage Daydream, which is one of my favorite songs from him. Starman's on this.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of his hits are on this album. So, this is one of my favorites.
He had fucking hits for 30 years, and there's like 2 of them on this album.
What's that?
So not a lot of his hits were on this album. There was 2.
Maybe not for you. You idiot.
Leave comments below. All you David Bowie fans, leave comments below.
Please do.
Yeah,
Well,
what's my opinion on it?
Yeah, what's your opinion?
It's okay. It's not my favorite one from them. I think the next one, Aladdin Sane, which is kind of an not kind of, it is an evolution of this band and the Ziggy idea.
Yeah,
You know,
it's way different.
it was heavier, but I think overall it had a clearer idea and it was more dynamic. This one kind of meanders a little bit. There's a few songs I really don't like. Some of it's almost just kind of lays in the background. I mean, it's a really good record if you listen to it all the way through, but individual songs I'm not nuts about. I don't like It Ain't Easy, Soul Love, or Hang On To Yourself.
The album doesn't really flow very well.
No, it doesn't.
It has a very weird set list.
But it does have some, like I said, a couple of my favorite songs by him. Moonage Daydream is one of them. I love the title track, Ziggy Stardust. Suffragette City's a good one, too. I like the alternate version of Rock and Roll Suicide better than the album version. I used to have a single version of it, and it's a re-recording. But I don't. The album version is kind of awkward.
It is very awkward, especially to end the album. What about you, idiot?
Well,
and if anybody's listening to this as a podcast, I'm only calling him an idiot because the shirt that he's wearing says idiot on it. He's not really an idiot. Well,
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm wearing my fucking Led Zeppelin t-shirt right now.
Oh, yeah.
My opinion is that Mott The Hoople is an earmark where David Bowie is a fucking absolute all-time legend.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And
Good night,
Hey,
everybody.
these two albums kind of, was the start of that.
Yeah.
This was Mott's best album, and
No.
to the uneducated, sure. Why wouldn't it be?
Or best selling, but that's a great record.
Long story short, fucking the Ziggy Stardust album will be put into if the fucking aliens, the visitors come down and take us over, there will be a time capsule with Ziggy Stardust as part of it. I don't see Mott The Hoople being fucking part of any time capsule anytime soon when the visitors come.
I highly disagree because ever since the 70s, all the young dudes has always represented the glam movement. So even if it was just that single, it would have to be included. Not that I'm saying Bowie's legacy isn't bigger. I love Bowie, and I do like this record. I'd rate them very close, but he got better than this. This is just the start of it, and I don't think it's as strong of an album. But that's just on an album-to-album basis. I'm not trying to compare the whole legacy overall.
If the aliens did come down, they probably would be playing the David Bowie Ziggy Stardust album on the way down here. It'd be in their CD player.
CD player.
Okay.
All this high-tech stuff, and yet they still have a CD player. They could have an 8-track player for all I know.
You didn't know you had 3 prophets on the Rat Salad Review, did you, people?
No, you didn't.
So,
They are coming.
as far as the album versus album aspect goes, I still think Bowie blows Mott out of the fucking water. I absolutely, like I was telling Dragon the other night, I've never heard an album or an artist that can mix the electric and the acoustic as well as they did on that album. Or, during any time of Bowie's career, really. But I get such a fucking rush off of the seamless, beautiful blend of the acoustic and the electric.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever done it better. And that by itself will push me to a 9.
Wow, 9.
And I could listen to that. I could listen to every song on that album, never get bored. Can't say the same thing about all the young dudes. What else? What else can I fucking rip on Mott The Hoople about here? I really like the Mott The Hoople album. I'm going to give it a 7.5. But I just can't. I have to contend that Ziggy Stardust is a staple of Americana. And maybe that's, well, it's not Americana, but it's a staple of that time period.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just, it was the right album at the right time.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, and I would give the Stardust a 8. I'd actually give them both 8s. Because I like all the songs except for 2 on both albums, so that just takes 2 points away from being 10s. And it's my first Hoople album. I like it. I enjoy it. I will be checking out more of them. But I like the David Bowie a little bit more. But seeing that I do have to take 2 songs that I don't like off of both of them, both 8s.
Okay.
Can I ask the historian a question here?
Sure.
Ask away.
I seem to remember Bowie making a misstep. Maybe it was after he got out of the whole Ziggy persona, but
yeah, it's the 90s.
What?
It was the 90s. He made a huge misstep in the 90s.
Oh, the Tin Machine? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Okay, so he made 2 missteps in his career.
All right. He stumbled and tripped a few times.
Right. I seem to remember him being into Nazism and like throwing up the salute and shit.
Really?
Yeah, that was during the Station to Station tour, which is actually a really good album. But he was all fucked out of his mind on coke then, and he got real into fascism and shit because of a character he was writing for the tour production. and just ran with it. He called himself the Thin White Duke during that period.
I've been all fucked up on coke a lot of times in my life. I never went that direction.
Well, how do you know?
You've never had David Bowie money to do cocaine with either.
That's true.
All right.
It's-
Quality
it's-
over quantity, huh?
Yeah, it's rumored that his diet during that time was something like a half ounce of blow a day plus 8 glasses of milk and a bell pepper.
I don't even know.
Peppers are very filling.
Yeah,
Well, that
I'm
was
serious.
Ziggy,
But,
right?
huh?
That was after Ziggy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was after Ziggy. He started getting interested in that shit around right after Aladdin Sane when he did Diamond Dogs, because 1984 is a real big theme on that record. And yeah, then after that he did Young Americans, and then he started moving into the Thin White Duke, and then he hooked up with Brian Eno and did all that craft work
She
type
was a
shit.
young American.
Which is
I
funny
love
because
that album.
before he was singing songs about blue jeans.
The
Yeah.
Gene. What do you think, Greg? We already know you like Mott The Hoople better, but
Oh yeah, man. Well, I mean, I agree. Ziggy Stardust is like the quintessential glam album. It definitely defines that period. But you know, and it is beautifully written and arranged. Mick and David did an awesome job on it. But you know, they were just kind of fucking around. They didn't put any thought into the track listing. The story wasn't even written until they started doing the tour and see what would work and what wouldn't work on stage.
That's genius in itself, though.
But
that's kind of how the show started.
I get that.
That's
but
how
what
this show got started, right?
What I'm saying is they pulled it together and they made a piece of gold with it. But what it doesn't have is an ounce of the attitude and the drive that the Mott The Hoople album has. I mean, they toured in the fucking dredges and just could not find success touring the world. People would turn up to their shows in the hundreds of thousands, depending on this. They would almost always be sold out, but they couldn't sell fucking records. And this was fucking it, man. And they knew it was it. And people were stopping in the studio, and Bowie and Mick Ronson were helping them arrange the songs. You had all 5 members still firing on all cylinders, like in the early days. Mick Rouse and Ian Hunter weren't pissed off at each other yet, and they were still collaborating real well. You know, it's just like the perfect storm of everything, and it's a really good, strong album.
Right album at the right time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's all it takes. So what's your score?
I'd give Ziggy Stardust a 9 and All the Young Dudes a 9.5.
Oh wow, Steve.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they're really, really even. It's just the Mott The Hoople is more rock and roll, and that's really what it comes down to. It has that essential raucousness to it that, you know, like Chuck Berry used to sing about, essentially, or Jerry Lee Lewis even. It's got a whole lot of shaking going on, man.
I can respect that opinion, but when you say it's more rock and roll, what I hear is it's simpler. It's not as technical as Ziggy Stardust.
That's not what I mean at all. And the thing is, it isn't, because Ronson helped write a lot of the arrangements for it. They have a lot of shit in common that way. The Mott material just has more power behind it because of how it's played, and that's really what I'm talking about.
Yeah. All right. Well, looks like Bowie won. Sorry, Greg. Bowie won.
Not by much.
This will be my last, so everybody knows.
He did say that. If we did
I
Bowie,
told you, you were warned.
He's not leaving. Is he leaving? No, he's not going to leave.
I'm taking my fucking blocks, man. I gotta find them first. It's gonna take a while.
It's under that 100 fucking kilos of weed you got sitting in the corner.
That's what I said. It's going to take a while. Going to watch The Terminator and Repo Man a couple hundred times.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Yeah, what do you got?
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Hold on.
Oh, we slowed the show down. Dead Air. I love Dead Air.
Oh,
All right, that failed. Fuck.
I
Yeah, you just-
did want to say though, Wayne, you actually brought up a good point. As much as I love Mott The Hoople,
Mhm.
Verdon Allen, who was a very good organist, wasn't exactly the best songwriter. And even though I do love Soft Ground, and I think they made it great in the studio, they shouldn't have let him sing on it. That was a mistake. I think that song would be a lot more powerful with Ian singing.
Yeah,
That's one of the reasons it doesn't get a 10.
Yeah. I forgot. Yeah, the vocals did sound different on that one. That's probably why I didn't really care for it too much.
He didn't have a lot of power behind his voice, man. The other guys all used to sing his songs, but I think with the way everything was changing, he kind of knew he was on his way out, so he really wanted to sing on this one.
Just had to get that last one in there.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bunch of fucking British crybabies to me.
Well,
Actually, what's funny about that is Ian Hunter was very much what gave them their attitude, because they were essentially a bunch of college boys from up north, and when they put them together with Ian, they had been called the Shakedown Sound or something, and they were writing a bunch of like lovey-dovey type teenager songs, and Ian was about 30 and a factory worker. He's like, oh, fuck no, you guys got to listen to some of this.
And then, as the years progressed, Nikki Sixx said, "Oh fuck no, we're not going to do Raspberries covers as a career. You got to listen to some of Ian Hunter's shit."
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but my baby wants to. Oh, I fucked that up. Never mind. It was the lyric in that song.
My baby's got 2 hands. My baby's got 2 feet. My baby's got a forehead and
My
all.
baby call me when she wanna say oh.
That's right. That's what I meant to say. Damn it.
Because she knows right in her heart. I'd never fail.
You guys aren't on my
She's
fucking
a
level.
sucker.
Here, let me have about 14 more of these, and maybe I can come down to you guys' intelligence level.
What's that, number 2?
On the show, this is like number 6.
I mean on the show.
Yeah, 6.
All right. That's it. See you guys next week.
When we will be doing album versus album.
We don't give it away.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Oh, boy.